They won't realize what they had until they've lost the calm in your voice, the weight of your presence, the freedom in your silence. And by then, it's too late. You've already become the person they never deserved in the first place. In a world obsessed with appearances, being real is radical. In a world addicted to attention, being unmoved is power. And in a world of noise, your stillness will haunt them. Because true magnetism isn't loud, it doesn't beg, it chooses. So here it is. 7 ways to become the one they'll regret letting go. Not through seduction, not through perfection, but through transformation so real it echoes when you're gone. Every day, you wear a version of yourself they told you would be easier to love. You smile to hide the ache. You stay silent so you don't come off as too much. But ask yourself, at what cost? When you perform long enough, you forget who you are. You begin living for applause that no longer satisfies. Marcus Aurelius didn't write meditations to be admired. He wrote them to remember who he was. Epictetus didn't beg for attention. He mastered his own mind. It's time you did the same. The most unforgettable people in your life, weren't they the ones who didn't pretend, the ones who laughed from their belly, cried without apology, and held your gaze without needing a script? Authenticity is your revolution. Real growth is ugly. It's not aesthetic. It doesn't always post well. It's tears on your bedroom floor. It's deleting the message you wanted to send just to protect your peace. It's choosing silence over proving your point, because you finally learned your worth doesn't need defending. Growth is not about chasing milestones. It's about letting go of masks. It's the quiet decision to be yourself, even if it costs you company. Carl Jung called it individuation, integrating your shadows, your light, your chaos, until you finally feel whole. Growth isn't becoming someone new, it's becoming more of who you were before the world told you to shrink. And when you carry that kind of quiet evolution, people feel it. Even if they don't understand it, they respect it. They told you to hide the cracks, to bury the breakdown, to smile like nothing happened. But that pain you carry, that's your armor. Every scar you've earned is a lesson they'll never understand. And the ones who truly see you, they don't love you despite your past. They love you because of how you survived it. The Stoics never denied pain, they welcomed it. They studied it, because they knew that what you endure becomes your strength. Let your story breathe, let your tears teach, because someone out there needs your survival as proof they're not alone. Your vulnerability isn't weakness, it's your most magnetic trait. You weren't put on this planet to be picked like a flower. You are the garden. Stop auditioning, start interviewing. Does this person align with the you you're becoming? Not the watered-down version that gets claps, but the real version that gets misunderstood. Let your boundaries speak before your words ever do. Seneca once said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." And part of that lesson? You decide who earns proximity, not from arrogance, but from self-respect. Let your standards be so clear that the wrong ones disqualify themselves. You were told you're too emotional, too sensitive, too complicated, but let's be real, that was never your flaw. It was their limitation. You feel deeply because you care. You speak intensely because you're alive. And that passion? It's your proof you haven't gone numb. Carl Jung said, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." Feel all of it, because in a world where everyone's pretending, the ones who actually feel become unforgettable. The ones who love deeply change lives. Be loud with your heart, be loud with your love. Be so unapologetically you that people have no choice but to remember you. Let's talk love, the most powerful force on earth and also the most misunderstood. Real love doesn't beg, it doesn't perform, it doesn't say, "Pick me so I can believe in myself." Real love says, "I am whole, you are whole, let's walk together." Most people offer love as a transaction. You won't, because you've done the work. You've poured into your own soul, filled your own cup, and now, what you offer is overflow. Stoic freedom is emotional freedom. When you stop needing to be chosen, that's when you become the one no one wants to lose. They feel it. They feel that your love isn't coming from desperation, it's coming from abundance. That's unforgettable. Here's the final truth. You don't have to stay in someone's life to leave a lasting impression. Sometimes your absence is the loudest thing you'll ever say. People don't remember who smiled the most. They remember who made them feel seen. They remember the one who didn't try to impress, but impacted. Presence is not volume, it's not perfection, it's peace. When you enter a room with wholeness, people feel it in their bones. You walk differently, you choose differently. You stop explaining your value, and suddenly others scramble to explain why they lost you. The real ones? They'll rise to meet you. The others? Let them go. Because now, you're no longer seeking a place to belong. You are the place. Chapter The Transformation They'll Never Forget. Chapter 8. They'll remember the one who didn't flinch, who didn't need to shout to be heard, who left quietly, but powerfully. And they'll wonder, how did I lose someone like that? The answer? You never truly belonged in their version of love. You were never meant to survive in a space that only accepted fragments of you, so you left, not in bitterness, but in becoming. And that's what makes you unforgettable. You grew, not to prove a point, but to protect your peace, not to be admired, but to live free. So when they look back, when they scroll through old messages, when they hear a laugh that almost sounds like yours but isn't, they'll feel it, the absence, the echo of who you are now, the weight of what they let go. And that weight, it's the cost of losing someone who finally chose themselves. You don't need revenge, you don't need closure, you just need one truth. They'll never meet another you.